So every once in a while we get these crazy dash cam videos of Teslas doing some cool thing like dodging some ducks or getting out of the way of cones or missing a person. And a lot of times these videos are just dash cam footage. We don't actually see anything from the interior of the car. There's no sound. So we don't actually know if autopilot was engaged, how fast the car was going, if the person reacted in a certain way. And so we just have to see that video and take it for whatever the driver tells us. So while I don't have 100% of the facts myself, I can just tell you what I see from these videos. I want to tell you why I'm skeptical of most of them and why we maybe shouldn't be spreading these so quickly. What's going on, everybody? My name is Chris. If you enjoy this video, please hit like and get subscribed. And also thank you to my newest patron, Andy W. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Frunk. Thank you to all my patrons. Quick update on my giant baby. She turned 1, so she's over 1 year old now. And she was 100th percentile in height. So this is why I say giant baby. She is literally a giant baby. So back on topic, we see these videos from time to time, and usually it's posted on some blog and they have a crazy title like Autopilot avoids ducks saving their lives or something like that. And all you get is this dash cam video. It's just a video from the Tesla cam, which is great, but there's no context in these videos. You don't know if autopilot is on. You don't know if the person was texting and driving. You don't know if they reacted to the situation, if they made some type of sound, how they reacted to the situation. So every time I see these, I get a little frustrated because people just go, oh my gosh, autopilot did this crazy thing, and there's actually no evidence, and everybody just accepts it. And I got this one sent to me that just really was like, okay, give me a break here. It shows a tire flying from the other side of the road, and the car swerves. And it's like this thing that was on Instagram, like autopilot saved this person or whatever it said. And it's like, give me a break. There is no way autopilot avoided this random tire flying in the road. I mean, it's just, it's beyond the capabilities of the system at this point. And to be fair, I will say for a lot of these, I am also just assuming and making assumptions based off of things I know from autopilot. But I want to stress that we should be really skeptical about these because I don't want people seeing this stuff and being like, wow, autopilot does this amazing stuff when it really doesn't. So what I want to do right now, I have compiled a few clips, not too many. I don't know what order I'm putting them in yet, but I'm going to number them. And I want you to watch them. I'll just put on a little light music. You can mute it or whatever if you want. And look at each clip. I'll number them 1 through whatever. And determine if you think, just from that clip, try not to think about the headlines. Maybe you've seen it already. Try to act like it's the first time you've seen this. Look at the clip and decide. Did autopilot do that? If you've used autopilot, you probably have a little better feel for its abilities. If you haven't, maybe you've just seen a lot of videos of autopilot. Use that knowledge. I don't want to influence you at all, but use that knowledge. Check out these clips and see what you think. And then at the end, we'll do a reveal where I say what the driver claimed, or maybe we don't know whether they said it was them that intervened or autopilot that intervened. And you can see if you were right or wrong. And I will also tell you my thoughts about each clip. So why am I so skeptical about these clips? I personally use autopilot when I drive my car. I found in a recent video over 90%, over 91% of the miles I drive, and it's 70-mile commute that I have every day. I haven't been taking my Tesla every day because of the pandemic. I've been putting miles on both of our cars, driving our Equinox sometimes. But the days I take my Tesla, that's over 70 miles, and over 91% of that, autopilot is engaged. I have a lot of experience with autopilot. I've been using it over 1.5 years, and so I'm very familiar with the scenarios where it will dodge things, where it won't dodge things. So one of the scenarios I've been in is, unfortunately, there was a little family of raccoons that ran across the road. I'm going to describe it a little bit, so maybe skip ahead if you don't want to hear it. But I was paying attention, hands were on the wheel, autopilot was on, and the parent raccoon kind of ran out, and I saw immediately it was very close to my car. I saw it. I slammed on my brakes as hard as I could. Fortunately, I think I hit one or two of the little raccoons, but Autopilot did nothing. It should have seen that before me if we were to believe these other clips we've seen. Now, to be clear, that one example doesn't tell you how Autopilot is going to act in that scenario every time. Of course, maybe if I ran over that... Of course, maybe if I ran over... not ran over. Of course, maybe if I ran into... This sounds terrible. Of course, maybe if I had that scenario happen more often, you know, I could do it like 10 times. Oh my gosh, that's not what I mean. Maybe if it happened to me 10 times, unfortunately, it's only happened once. I'm really tripping over how to word this. Maybe if this has happened 10 times and it never avoided anything those 10 times, I could say, okay, in that exact scenario, it's not going to do it. Or maybe 5 of the times it would have, and I know it's possible. But I've also had deer encounters several times, sometimes on paved roads with Autopilot, sometimes on dirt roads where I'm driving fully, there's no Autopilot or traffic aware cruise control. I have not had my car react to deer at all in any way. Now, I know it is possible for Autopilot to react to big objects and possibly even the small objects, but what it does is it just hits the brakes really hard. It's not going to go swerving over solid lines especially, or into other lanes, unless a scenario where it will do that, which we've seen plenty of times with in-car footage. If another vehicle goes to swerve into the Tesla will take evasive maneuvers, move out of the way of that vehicle, and then move back into the lane. So you may have seen my video where my car avoids a cone in the lane, and it's a very gradual, it just kind of, you know, avoids the cone and comes back. All good. There's another video that had come out a few months before that where the guy's Tesla just plows into, he admitted that he fell asleep. You know, it happens, unfortunately, it can happen in any car, but he admitted he fell asleep for just a minute there, and he had Autopilot on, and there's cones that were, you know, cutting off the lane to make you merge into the next lane, and his Tesla just plowed right into the cones. And that is more kind of reminiscent of what I would expect Autopilot to do in these scenarios with tiny little things on the ground. So my last biggest point before we go on to the reveal and I talk about these clips is we've never seen, that I'm aware of, and I've seen a lot of these clips. Please comment anything down below that I'm not aware of. But we haven't seen in-car footage of Autopilot enabled and a little animal running across the road or something, and the car swerving, you know, all crazily to avoid it. So let's move to the computer. We can check out some of these clips. You can see if you were right or wrong or agree with me or whatever, because of course for some of the clips we won't know the true answer, but let's check them out. Okay, so starting off here's number 1. Before we get started, this video is sponsored by the Model 3 Part Shop. You can use the code DirtyTesla to get 15% off anything on their entire website. Link is in the description for that, so check that out. So looking at this first clip here, we have some kind of boar or something fly out into the road, and this Tesla, I mean, it almost goes sideways, which the traction control on these things is so good, it's hard to make the car do that even intentionally. But the driver said in this clip that they felt like the car started to maneuver at the same time as them. So they did this maneuver. This was a human maneuver, but they said they felt the car start to do something before they intervened. I would assume that that's braking. I am going to take this person at their word. That looks creepy. This looks like paused here. It looks like a person crawling or something. I will take them at their word that the car was doing something. I for sure believe it can brake for a big thing in the road like that. But as far as steering, I would assume the car did no steering in this scenario. All that steering we just saw was completely human. Right, on to number 2. What do we have here? So this is a deer. Yep, so deer comes out. You can see the car kind of swerves a little bit. So what did you think, Autopilot or human? This one was human. Thank you to those of you on Twitter. I had a few people show me some videos they let me use. This one is from there, and that was all human. Autopilot, they said, did nothing at all. Okay, number 3, I think this is another deer. Okay, pretty slow. The car kind of almost looks robotic to me, kind of slowly lurches, moves to the side a little, and then kind of continues slowly. Well, that was human, totally human. No car intervention at all, according to the driver. All right, number 4. What is this? So really quick clip there. I can watch it one more time. We can see the deer flies out. The car seems to brake a bit. What did you think? Autopilot or human? One more time. 100% human in that clip. The driver said that the car did not react to that deer at all. All right, so number 5. This is actually my clip. This is a bit of a strange one. So there's nothing being avoided here, but you can see the car kind of drifts over out of the lane and kind of jerks back into the lane. That was Autopilot for whatever reason. Again, nothing was in the road there. It was raining, as you could see. Autopilot drifted into the other lane, which that is the only time ever in my driving with my car I've ever experienced something like that, and that's why I have the clip saved. So my car drifted over, and then that jerked back, as you can see I'm taking over the wheel, being like, what the heck is going on? You know, you're going into oncoming traffic. So there's an example we can see of Autopilot, one more time, drifting over to the opposite side of traffic. But a lot smoother of a move than some of these other ones that show the car kind of jerking all around. All right, number 6. I tried to give you an easy one. So this was most definitely not Autopilot. This is my clip from my car, and this is hilarious. These little dinosaurs running down the road just look so funny. But no, that was no Autopilot at all. That was me. All right, number 7, we have another deer clip here. So you can see the car slows down and pretty much stays slowed there. So this is, again, these are all my clips now. This is from my car. Car did nothing at all. No indication from the car that it could detect that buck. And actually, when you see it on the video, that's when I saw it. I did not know it was there until I turned my brights on, and it scared me so bad. But I had nothing from the car in that scenario. Now, this is a really fun one. Again, this is my clip, and we're coming up on a turkey up here. And when you watch this, it's blurred, but I haven't blurred it yet, so you can see it at the end here. So you can see I have Autopilot. I'm pointing at the screen like you can see it. You can see my mouse. You can see I have Autopilot turned on, the blue lines. We're going 60 here, and we're coming up to the turkey, and I have to take over because my car shows no indication that it's going to do anything to save that turkey. So I take over, I move out of the way of the turkey, and get back into the lane. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. I think it's going to be a little controversial down there in the comments. Some of you might be mad at me for whatever reason. People get pretty defensive about this kind of stuff, but that's all right. It's fun to talk about this and hear your opinions and thoughts. So I look forward to learning from you about your experiences and your thoughts on Autopilot's current abilities. I hope you enjoyed this one, and you will see me in the next video.
So Autopilot and I are happily driving along.